everyone, this is Neil with Wasted Paper doing another pen review. The pen this time is actually the It Gets Better collaboration with Narwhal for the other pen they did this year. I did a review prior on the other model, which I'll probably use in the size comparison, but this time we're looking at the Voyager model. This was the more expensive one, and I was kind of apprehensive to get this one when I first saw it because the pictures, which I'll show now, to me didn't stand out or didn't really get at me. But then I saw someone doing an unboxing of this pen and I was like, oh wow, it actually looks way better in person. So going straight into this is still a video post my surgery. So I tried to open this with one hand and ripped it, which is fine. We're going to go straight into opening it now, but just bear with me. Inside of the slipcase, you do have this white box. It has their name on it, which is Nahvalur. I believe people tell me you can still say Narwhal for it, but I'm going to say Nahvalur because that's how it looks. But you have this. Inside of there, you have... It actually opens up really nicely from the top. You have this note which talks about their collaboration, which I will try to hold this up for you. You can pause the video to read their statement. Underneath that, you have this nice little treat and the pen itself. And here's the pen. I want to show that comparison again so you can see that picture. To me, in that picture, you don't really see any yellow or much orange at all. You see a lot of blue. On mine, especially this one, especially the green right there, there is so much more color. Something I love about this is I really like pens with yellow. I do like orange too, but yellow to me is such a nice color and you don't really see it on pens almost at all. So you have gold trim on here. You have numbers on the top for what number you have. Looks like I have 275 out of 628. This is a piston filler. At the bottom right here is your piston. Looking at the nib, I did get a double broad, and something weird about the double broad here, and I don't know if I'll be able to show it, but normally on the side right here, you will have a stamp of like an M or an F or whatever size nib you have. This doesn't actually have any stamp on it. I don't know why that is, but this is the first double broad I've ever bought. I went with that because I've seen some cool grinds people do with it, and I also want to use a yellow ink in this, so I want something that's more broad to show that better. There's also an ink window, which is very nice. I love those. And I want to try to show you up close. Oh, you can see it right there. There is that sparkle chatoyance. I believe this may be diamond cast. I'm not 100% certain on that, and I don't think it says it anywhere, but you can see that sparkle effect right there. Makes me think it is. Here's the nib up close. As I was saying, there is no branding on here as far as what the nib size is, but you do have their in-house nibs. This is a steel nib, and you have the Narwhal logo on there. This pen is priced at $169 MSRP, which they did that to signify the year of 1969, which has to do with the Stonewall riots. I did read an article on it after seeing that's why they did that, and I can post that article, or I will post that article down below if you would like to read it as well. The ink I'm going to be using with this pen is Private Reserve's ink Buttercup. The reason I want to go with this ink is I really like yellow inks, and I don't own very many, and they're hard to see if you don't go broad with the nib size, but this has such nice orange and yellow on it. I really want something that stands out and is just as loud as this pen. For the writing sample, I'm going to be going with my Tomoe River notebook. This is the A6 size. I talk about these a lot and use them a lot. These are my favorite handy little to-go notebooks. The first thing I want to shout out with this is these lines are clean. Super uniform as they should be, but really, really clean lines here. I actually like that a lot. With flex, I doubt you're going to see much of anything, but we will look. Here's no pressure. Here's with. None. With. There's some, but mostly you're looking at like the ink getting darker because it's laying down more ink. One thing to know, and it should be obvious, but with a double broad like this, you really need to keep your hand lower. So if I'm writing up here higher, as you can see, I had a little bit of skippage right there, and that's because I'm writing higher. Generally, you shouldn't be that high anyways, but when you write lower, You're getting a lot more uniform line and you're not having any sort of weird moments like that. For size comparisons, I wanted to pull out the other pen from this collection, and as usual, a Lamy Safari. So just viewing these together, you can see that this is the bigger pen. It is wider as well as longer. I also want to get, instead of using the same brand, I want to get a pen that is another more common pen that honestly the shape kind of reminds me of it. This is the Custom 823. When I make those even. Lengthwise, they're actually really similar. This does taper a lot more than this does. They keep a very uniform shape on the Nahvalur pen, but let's look at them uncapped now. When looking at them uncapped, almost every one of these is identical. The difference is so small, you could barely tell. This is the widest pen out of the three. As I said before, this tapers quite a bit more here in the back, but it looks like your grip section is almost identical because there is a taper at the front here, and then with the Safari, it's very similar in length. Looking at them posted, I've said this before in a prior video, but this specific model, the Voyager and the other Nautilus, those do not post. Since they keep that uniform shape on them, it makes it so the cap cannot go on the back. Final thoughts on the pen, what do I think? Honestly, I really like this resin. I'm actually super surprised by it. It reminds me of a Leonardo pen that I absolutely love called the Rainbow Ice. That one is definitely more orange, but this is just super nice. It almost reminds me of like Sherbert in some sense. It's just got so many colors to it and it's so bright and vibrant. The gold trim on here works really well. I love my Nautilus, so trying this model was only a matter of time before I actually got to. And I can admit I do really like this too. Double broad is a change for me. It's not my dream nib. Like I said, I do want to get this ground into something, but I do think it looks really good when I'm trying to show off inks that are like yellow. The big thing people may wonder is it worth the $100 price difference? It's a little bit more, but $100 difference. So quality wise, I think this one is day and night. It is much better than this. I like this pen. I love how it looks, but if you saw my review, I don't care for the nib on this. The nib on this one is 100% better. I don't even think it's close. As far as the aesthetics, that's really up to you. I think both of them have great aesthetics. But what I will say, and hopefully there's still some in stock, it may not be, I'll try to link it if there is, but on Atlas Stationers, they have this pen right now for 50% off. So I was able to get it for only $30 more than I spent on this. Now for $30 more, do I think this is better? It's not even close. 100% is it better for $30 more. This is a steal for that price. I actually think getting these for under 100, especially that much under, I think it's really worth it. I really am a big fan of Nahvalur's pens that are like this, the Nautilus, but this Voyager just falls in line with that same thing. All that being said, thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below.